Darko Tresnjak first came to California as a young boy, what he remembers most vividly is the quality of the light. When he returned here, it was as an established director, ready to bring his own kind of light to the stages of the old Globe Theater.
हमने बहुत तुझको छुप छुप के देखा, हमने बहुत तुझको छुप छुप के देखा, दिल पे खींची है तेरे काजल की रेखा, काजल की रेखा बनी लक्ष्मण की रेखा हो।
Tresnjak had built his American directing career at Williamstown Theater Festival and other East Coast companies. In 2002, he made his Globe debut with a production of Shakespeare's Pericles. 2 years later, he was chosen to revive a treasured old Globe tradition, the theater's Summer Shakespeare Festival. Founding director Craig Knoll.
There was an exposition in 1935, and just prior to that, there had been a World's Fair in Chicago. And one of the great attractions of the World's Fair in Chicago, they told us that they were that had the largest attendance of any special event there, was the Globe players doing streamlined versions of Shakespeare. And so we brought them here in 1935. San Diego came time and time again to see these wonderful young actors, professional actors that had had an experience of playing it for 2 years in Chicago, you see. And so when 35, when they came here, they were very, very set and very professional. So it was established, you see.
It is very moving to come here, and restart this tradition, and I hope it takes hold. And Mr. Knoll is a wonderful, wonderful. It's great to talk to him, get his feedback. People who come to San Diego, I guess we're hoping that over time that they'll realize that there's a mini Shakespeare festival going on, and that Thursday they can come and see Antony and Cleopatra, and Friday they can see As You Like It, and Saturday Two Noble Kinsmen, so they can have 3 nights of Shakespeare. So that's, I think, the advantage of doing rep.
I just love this idea.
I've had the wonderful opportunity to work with Darko before, so this is not my first experience with Darko. Darko is very excited to be a part of the festival. He's very excited to be his named the artistic director of the festival this year. And I really find that he's put a great deal of energy and focus into both of the plays. It's exciting to work with him right now, and he's like a little kid right now, so that's kind of fun.
Are you guys good?
As a freelance director, most of the time, I feel about my life, I'm sort of the Flying Dutchman. I go from company to company. I land on the shore, stay for a few weeks, and then I leave. Or actually, I think the other analogy is Mary Poppins. The wind changes and you fly off somewhere else. So, so it means you deal with the show on an individual basis. You do each show and then you move on to another city. And with this, I have to think about the artistic content, how the 3 shows work together, but I also have to think from a producing end about budgets, about how it all fits together, about how to do this and give the audience the most interesting product that we can, and yet not kill the costume shop, the set shop, so that the shows interface well, so that it's manageable. So it's an interesting exercise in art and pragmatism, and I kind of like it. I'm ready for it.
One more time from the end, Dan.
Besides staging 6 seasons of Shakespeare, Tresnjak also mounted what he called his mini-cycle of classic American comedies.
I've built my career on doing neglected plays, proving to audiences that they're worthwhile, that they deserve to be done. I haven't always succeeded, but that's mostly what I've built my career on.
Goddess, nymph, perfect, divine. To what, my love, shall I compare thine eye?
Yeah, and then just walk. Great, because then this way. To what? Yeah, that's a let's do that.
What's so wonderful about Darko is the extreme world that he takes you to. So it's not, well, don't forget, you're in a Victorian parlor. It's, you know, I see this Victorian parlor and the curtains are pink and there's like a sticky spot on the floor down here and the maid keeps coming in and knocking her head against the door frame, and suddenly there's this incredibly rich world that you can inhabit, as opposed to the bland kind of, you know, let's just understand vaguely where we are. He's incredibly specific, which allows the actor to open up and become so much more free in the experience of that space. And there's so much creativity in what he brings. There's so much richness of this world that you can then play with. You know, because if the maid is bopping her head on the way in, then you can react to that and deal with that and maybe give her an ice pack.
Because right now it's just a little, we just need to take off at that point.
There, take out that! What need you, sir? For God's sake, hold your hands! Hey, if it will not, sir, I'll take my heels!
English is not my first language. I actually, you know, ran away from Shakespeare for as long as I could, because I was like, would I feel it? Would I understand it? As well as a native speaker. And then literally it was the process of the first play, you know, that I worked on was The Winter's Tale, and I fell in love with it, that I had to try working on all the others. And, you know, and I've said this a number of times, it sounds like a broken record, but, you know, if I was to work on Shakespeare in theater and on Mozart in opera and only do that with my life, that would be a great artistic life. I would have no problem with that, you know. To go beyond that, you know, I feel like having done a number of Shakespeare plays and a number of Mozart operas, I'm already blessed, but the possibilities are truly, truly infinite.